Episode 9 of Flex X Cop started the same way, episode 8 ended, in which Jenny Sue visited the therapist in jail and she told him that, she put that image in his head and she could pretty much help him see how his mom passed away. And if you remember, the image that's in his dream is pretty much how his mom passed away, frozen in time.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another review on the Review Garden.
Isu goes to see his dad to confront him about the whole situation. And, his dad pretty much came clean about it. And when they showed you, that clip of the past, they were like, the father was there that night. So when he came into the house, he saw that, Isu was lying on the floor next to his mom in the bathtub. And, they try to get him out, blah, blah, blah. So he did that, wipe his memory so that he can help him. And then he's like, oh, the other guy, so the guy who's always helping Isu out, he's like, he said it was time for you to, face the truth. But he was wrong. You're still immature. And I'm like, yeah, he reacted this way because of the way he found out. If you had just been honest with him, I understand when he was young, but if you had just been honest with him, he would have, understood, he would have reacted a different way. But the way the therapist did it and made him realize the truth, she only did it out of revenge because the father ignored her phone call, right? And then you kind of see the father was like, oh, Isu's mom was the woman he loved. Okay, so Isu's mom used to work at your company. You cheated on your wife with her, but then you kicked her out. You put her in a house to live with her kid. And then what? You frequently visited, got what you needed, and get out while your wife was at home, probably making her life miserable. Because as soon as Isu came into the house, she hated the boy. She hated the whole concept of the boy. That's why she made his life miserable. That's why growing up in that house was miserable. So I don't understand why the father is blaming it all on Isu when the fault goes to him. He's the one who made all this happen. Just like Isu blamed him for the mom's death. Like, you the one who made her miserable. And then you brought Isu into the household of your wife who mistreated him, and you didn't even do anything about it. When the father was looking at the picture and they did that flashback, it didn't seem like the father was wearing a wedding ring. So could it have been like he knew her before he got married? So, that part is still unclear. So I may be wrong, that he cheated. But, he could have cheated and took off his ring to go out, on a date with her. But the point is, like, if you love this woman so much, why didn't you try harder to protect her son? Like, you let your wife mistreat the hell out of him. And even if your wife said for him not to eat, he can't eat this, he can't eat that, you as the, as the man of the house, you should have been like, you should have told the maids, like, hey, still feed him or something. Like, you can't just, I don't know. It's weird to me. And now the son is seeing, now the older boy is, watching him stare at a picture of his ex lover. So I don't know if something is going to, come about with that, because he already told the older son that he was disappointed in him. So I don't know if that's going to cause the older son to act out. Isu, ever since he found out, hasn't been able to go back home yet. So he's been staying at a hotel. He also didn't go back to work until his friend called him, which is what the new case that they're trying to solve is about. So his friend was arrested because on the set of a new movie, the lead actress was murdered. And he happened to sleep that night in the set, and he woke up with a lot of blood over him. And, the actress was murdered. He made it look like, so his friend is the CEO of the company. But he was like, he told Miss Lee that, hey, he's not the real CEO. He's just acting CEO. Let's go and meet the actual CEO. So when he gets to the building, he goes and sits behind the chair. And then he's like, how can I help you? And she's like, what are you doing? He's like, don't you see? Says CEO Jenny Sue. So then, Miss Lee and all the other people on her team wasn't able to get anything out of the workers. So when they were asking them question about what happened, everybody had their mouth shut. So then when Isu is questioning them, he's like, it was very traumatic. So I'm going to be giving you this, and that. And he's like, and whoever gives information pertaining to the case is going to get 100 million won sent to their account. Everybody started squealing. Everybody started saying, oh, the actress was in a relationship with her makeup artist, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, the power of money. Correction, not makeup artist. I thought that's what the subtitle said. But after, them questioning him, it was more like the main lead actor. That's who was her boyfriend. Episode 9 pretty much ended with Jenny Sue and Miss Lee going to, the culprit's house, or suspected culprit's house, which I'm guessing is another actress. They saw on a video that, the night Yura died, she was slapped by this actress. So they went to, question her. But when they questioned her makeup artist earlier, they took hair from a brush that the makeup artist had. And, when Miss Lee and Jenny Sue are at the girl's house waiting for her, the results came back that the DNA from the skin that was found under Yura's nail plus the DNA from the hair is a 99% match. Now, before we watch episode 10, the question is, does the hair actually belong to the person they're suspecting, or does it belong to the makeup artist. Maybe the hair that was brushed was belonged to someone else. Who knows? Maybe they're close, maybe they're not. So episode 10 started with them questioning the actress, and she pretty much told them that Yura wanted to be slapped in the face. She's never been slapped before, and the actress was supposed to slap her next week's scene. So she wanted her to try it so that she can know how to best prep for it. So she slapped her and made it look believable because the makeup artist was the one who saw it, and she kind of freaked out, right? And then they asked her about, the skin tissue that they found under her nail. So apparently she had a rash, and Yura was putting ointment on it, and somehow it got under her nail. So that's how the whole skin got there. So now they're back to square one. Now they're looking back into the boyfriend. When they questioned the actress was like, did you look into her stalker? And then when they went to talk to her manager, he told them that the stalker was the boyfriend. Well, I should say, quote, boyfriend, because he wanted to go out with her and she didn't want to go out with him. And the way, we kind of see it exist in real life, when certain people post that, you could take a picture by yourself, but if someone else takes the same picture in the same location, even without you in it, social media is gonna put you both together. So every time she took a picture somewhere, he would go to that same place and take a picture there too, to show that they were dating. So now when she started getting a lot of hate on social media, because he's a well-known actor as well, and his fan base is very brutal. So they started harassing her and saying all these things about her, and he was like, well, since they're talking anyway, we might as well make it official. So that is probably what she said, what she meant when she said she's going to reveal everything. They arrested the friend in the beginning, but they haven't released him yet, even though, they can't find motive. Miss Lee's boss wants her to just charge him. But, she's like, there's no motive. We have to be careful with this case. And surprisingly, the guy from Team 2, the lead from Team 2, actually supported her. But anyway, back to the friend. I'm surprised he's still friends with him. Ever since the beginning, episode 1, when the friend was like, I don't know what you're talking about, to leave him in jail, to leave Isu in jail. He didn't even come, to his defense. And then now he's over here crying to Isu and saying, what's taking you so long? Why am I still here? Da, da, da. And I'm like, all this man does is do drugs. He doesn't do anything. And I'm like, how do you have someone like that be the CEO, quote, CEO of your company? Like, I don't get it. I mean, they've been friends since middle school, so maybe Isu feels like he owes him for something, but I don't see the point of their friendship. His brother, Isu's brother, brought him dinner and just to check up on him. And like, he's saying like he didn't know anything about it, which is true, because he was just a kid at that time, so there was no way for him to know what was going on anyway. And he's like, I'm on your side. You can call to talk to me about anything. And like, I genuinely hope that he is on his side. Like, it would hurt me if he's not, like if he does something in the end to like betray him, because realistically that's the only like family he has. I'm not even counting his father as his family, but the brother, that's his family. When I tell you I was shocked to see the house of the manager, he tried to, say that it was the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend who was the stalker. But even if he wasn't the stalker, he was just way too obsessed. He had a, I wouldn't even say it was a blow up doll, because it was a pillow with the girl's face on it. And then there was a body. And I'm like, what? And he had a marriage certificate on the wall saying that he was married to her. He even had wedding photos. He had a bunch of cutout billboards of her in the house, a bunch of wall art with her face on it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Talk about obsessed. Talk about pervert, just like Isu said. And this man is delusional, all because she said she wanted to be married by the age of 35 when she was in high school. This man thought that she was talking about him. So when, she confronted him in the dressing room for doing creepy stuff because she was watching on the video, he went into her room, he took her underwear and laid on her bed and started smelling. I'm like, ugh, what the? So and then he went into this crazy phase, and then he just started stabbing her with the scissors. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So they kind of knew, who did it. So in order for him to confess, Isu organized this whole, would you say it's a seance? I guess it's a kind of seance, because the shaman came out and started doing, started chanting, and then pretended that it was her spirit that was talking to him. And in the room was everybody from the cast, the other actress, the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, and Isu, and the person who was acting like Yura was Miss Lee, because he was in this delusion stage that he didn't realize that it wasn't really Yura in front of him. It was actually Miss Lee, and he's just confessing like, I loved you, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Yeah, so, and the whole reason why the reporter was there is because the night that Isu found out what really happened to his mom, Miss Lee went and met with the reporter to tell him to not write the story about his mom anymore. And if he stops writing it, he gets an exclusive on her next case. And luckily, her next case was about a famous actress. So they arrested, the creep, the culprit, and they had a funeral for Yura, and the ex-boyfriend. Well, I don't really shouldn't really be calling him the ex-boyfriend. The male lead, he came to the funeral, and then he asked Miss Lee to not let anyone know that he was the one who was stalking her, right? So I guess in a way she kind of had two stalkers. He stalked her, you know, slash begged her to be his girlfriend, and then the other one was a creep. They were both creeps, but anyway, so he went to the funeral, asked her to not tell anyone. So then Sang-hee, the other actress, heard what he said, and she loudly said, "You were the one stalking her?" And the reporters started like with the cameras. And then, he was like, "You washed up actress, be quiet before." And then she slapped him. And then everybody, more camera. But anyway, so I'm pretty sure he's going to get in trouble himself now too. Because, they heard what she said. The friend was released, but, Isu got him taken away to go investigated for the drugs and whatnot. And then this idiot had the nerve to say, "Oh, you think we've been true friends? I was only friends with you because you're rich." Like, no, shoot. I think everybody can see that that's why you were with him. You were not really a true friend at all. Even in the moment he needed you, you weren't there for him. And then when you need him, he's supposed to jump. Like, get the hell out of here. And Isu was like, "Yeah, I know. I was only friends with you because I was lonely. Now, go take care of yourself." If he doesn't get clean, Isu needs to fire him from his company. Like, that's not a good representation of your brand. Isu ended up, going back home and started having, good memories of when his mom used to be there. Also, in the end, you kind of saw a new case starting for next episode. So it turns out that whoever was murdered this time, he knew Miss Lee. Now, I don't know if this, for some reason, I don't remember him. So I don't know if it had something to do with one of the previous cases that we've seen, or it had to do with the previous case that, she's worked on. So the guy asked to meet, but right before he was able to meet with her, a gang of people, came to his house and then killed him. So next week, we'll find out more about the case. Now, we are at episode 10. So the questions, we kind of see them getting closer because she is the reason he went back to his house. She talked to him and was able to get him, to go back home. So, is this a romantic, show where they are going to get together in the end, or are they just going to become good friends in the end? And this wraps up our journey on The Review Garden. Thank you for joining me today as we explored this drama. If you enjoyed this reaction and review, please remember to subscribe for more insightful videos. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback helps our channel grow. As always, I'm truly grateful for your support and for joining me on this journey on The Review Garden. Until next time, and happy listening. Bye.